What up, YouTubey? Denny in Saigon. My name's Denny. I'm an American, but I live here in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. I'm out for a midnight ride. It's real hot. My air conditioning's out, and just got a fan, so it's about 81 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty hot. This little gal down the road, ways back. Been traveling with her, I guess, for a ways. Yeah, I'm just out cooling off and blowing off some steam. I was watching the news when I got home. It's irritating. I watch the news in the USA and I get real irritated, of course. Everybody does. I don't know. People are real fed up with politics in the USA, of course. Everybody's, propagandized and polarized, and everybody has strong opinions, Unlike here, obviously, they don't have the same, political system here, right? So people don't have political opinions here. They don't have strong opinions about anything, really, except for my wife. My wife has strong opinions about money, things like that. But if you're an American citizen, you're supposed to participate, right? I mean, that's the way it was supposed to be. Right now, basically, a lot of people, they don't really want you to participate. They don't even want you to vote. They want to undermine your vote if they can. Or they want to help the Democrats undermine your vote if they can. That's what's so irritating to me. Of course, there's Republicans who go along with everything the Democrats do. There always has been, quite a few of them. I was just thinking a little bit ago, what would it be like if the Democrats controlled the Senate and the House? The American people would not be allowed to pick their own president because they wouldn't let you. They're going to get in the way. They're going to undermine the president every opportunity they get. The media is going to join in with them, the intel agencies that they control, all these social media companies. Everybody's going to jump right in with them and try to undermine the president, try to undermine the people who voted for it, and whatever agenda they have. That's why I've always said for a long time, you can't really vote for a Democrat. No matter how good he is. I mean, I would not vote for Nicholas Sandman if he was a Democrat. Okay, because at the end of the day, he's going to have to vote along with the rest of the Democrats. It's just going to go right along with everybody else, He's just going to have to be part of the whole system, and the amount of pressure that they bring to bear will be unbelievable. It'll just be unbelievable. I don't know if you see all them cops back there. They didn't wave me over, but thank God. If the Democrats get their way, they wouldn't even have elections because they're really not interested in democracy at this point. And not really just the party, but like everybody who supports the Democrats, they're all of them, from sea to shining sea. They're basically not interested in democracy. Well, what makes me think so? Well, for one thing, they count votes until January. In case you haven't been paying attention, this stuff's been going on since I was 18 years old. Okay, they were talking about that when I was watching H.A. Goodman today. About how, back when Clinton was impeached, that was basically the beginning of the 24-hour news cycle. They had a completely different opinion about impeachment then, believe me. The Democrats and the Congress, everybody, the media and everybody, they all had a completely different opinion. The difference was, Bill Clinton actually did break laws. which they've done. Everybody knows the Clintons have broke laws for decades. They started back then, you know, when he first come to town. He had a whole slew of scandals when he come to town, when he come to Washington. But he had all these women that, you know, were accusing him of all kinds of straight up rape. And they were not from years in his past. They were recent and incredible. All the way to the point where he had his spooge on Monica's dress. That credible. Okay, and they still lied about it. And all the Democrats lied about it. And Hillary said it was a vast right-wing conspiracy of Republicans. Okay, and the media went right along with it. They went right along with it. And they always will. The Democrats, you know, Nancy Pelosi's over there meeting with the climate change people, the climate change accords. They always have meetings, okay? They always have meetings about, it's not about the climate, it's about collectivism, okay? If you haven't figured it out, it's about collectivism. It's about forcing everybody to join up with their system, okay? And they had to come up with a big problem that everyone's going to have to fight. So you're not allowed to opt out. You got to live on the same planet everybody else does, so you got to fight climate change too. So you get to join up with a big collectivist system. They're making you have no clue what they have in store for you if they can get everybody to sign up for this. And a lot of Republicans are in on it. I don't trust the Republicans in the Senate. People think that the Republicans are going to have these big investigations and big hearings in the Senate and call Hunter Biden and all that nonsense. There's no way. There's no way that Hunter Biden is coming to testify anywhere, and they're not going to make it. Okay, in my opinion. I'd like to see it. For one thing, you know, it's totally disingenuous for them to pretend that nothing's suspicious about Hunter Biden. Everything that Trump does is suspicious to them. Everything Trump does warrants an investigation, but Joe Biden and his son making all this money from the Ukraine oil and gas company, that's not suspicious at all. Nothing to see here. You know, that's insane. It's more than a little suspicious. And it turns out there's a whole bunch of men on it. But no, the Senate's not going to do anything. There's nobody in the Senate, like, you know, you don't have Devin Nunes in the Senate. You don't have Jim Jordan in the Senate. But the most you got is maybe Rand Paul. Okay, and what did the Democrats do to him? You remember what they did to him? They climbed over his fence and beat his ass. So what's he going to do about it? Probably nothing. Okay, probably nothing. They go along with whatever the Democrats do in the Senate mostly. As far as them, you know, letting the Patriot Act expire, you know what? The Democrats and the Republicans, almost all of them, would chew off their own testicles before they would do that. They will never, ever let the Patriot Act expire or vote against the Patriot Act. That's never going to happen. Never. Okay? It doesn't matter if they abuse FISA warrants and all that. See, they had to have, when they renewed the FISA warrants on Carter Page, see, he was supposed to be a Russian spy because they're supposed to have more evidence each time they renew it. So they went back 3 times, and 3 times the judge said, yeah, good to go, boys. Good to go. Spy on whoever you want. Looks good to me. So 3 times they had more evidence that Carter Page was a Russian spy, except for Carter Page never went to jail. In fact, nobody in Trump's campaign went to jail for being a Russian spy. Every last one of them who went to jail, it was all about, you know, when you sent an email on a date you thought you didn't. It was all process crimes and stuff they didn't remember. Every last one of them. Okay, even the Russian lady who you know, was infiltrating the NRA, supposedly according to the media. Every single arrest was perfectly timed. CNN and the FBI show up at Roger Stone's house. What a joke. It's perfectly timed. Every single time, too. Every news article is perfectly timed. They have hit pieces on Jim Jordan and Devin Nunes exactly when the hearings come out, you know, or when these reports come out and all that. They do it every time. The media, they're all worked up because Jim Jordan, you know, somehow when he was in Ohio State, you know, all these wrestlers were being molested by the doctor there. These Ohio State wrestlers, okay, were being molested by the doctor, and they couldn't stop the doctor, and Jim Jordan knew about it, and they're all upset. Nobody in the Democrat Party is upset when, you know, guys are queering off in the showers. Nobody in the left cares about that. But somehow they care about Jim Jordan. He knows about it, and he didn't tell. You know, it's that's called dirt, okay? The Democrats go around complaining that they always say that Trump and the Republicans dig up dirt, but they, however, investigate. The opposite is true, okay? Because the stories about Devin Nunes visiting Ukraine and Jim Jordan's, you know, wrestling team, that's dirt. It's not relevant to anything, and it's all dirt. It's made up, fake news crap. Most of it. They don't mind. They don't mind. The Democrats and the people who follow these people, who follow the fake news, it doesn't matter if CNN comes on television and shows them a Kentucky gun range and tells them it's, you know, Turkey invading Syria. It does not matter. They're going to turn it on again tomorrow night, and they're going to turn it on again the next night. They're going to yuck it up when Colbert comes on, and SNL, and everybody else, and it's going to be no big deal. Okay? They do not care. They do not care about stuff like that. They don't care about Benghazi. That didn't bother them a bit. Nobody cared about that. No Democrat who votes for Hillary or Obama, none of them cared, pretty much. They think it's great. They think it's swell. You know, when Obama drank Flint water, claimed he, you know, I mean, he's perpetrated a scam on the American people. They don't care. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. That's what irritates me, man. That irritates me more than anything, really, is the hypocrisy. Is the sheer hypocrisy of it all. The fact that Hillary Clinton paid for the dossier. All these Democrats were working on the dossier, it turns out. Bruce Orr at the State Department, at the DOJ, and his wife was working on it. She's working for Fusion GPS. Supposedly Glenn Simpson, who, you know, runs Fusion GPS, who was working on the dossier, he's traveling to the Ukraine. He's out there in Aspen, Colorado, bumping into Adam Schiff. He's bumping into Shifty Schiff. He's meeting with the Russian lawyer the day after and the day before the Trump Tower meetings. But no Democrats suspicious about any of this stuff. In fact, Mueller, he doesn't even know who Glenn Simpson is. You know, supposedly. No, it's all just a wild, baseless conspiracy theory. Well, what's that? Well, the Democrats would commit crimes. Everybody knows Democrats don't commit crimes, and there's nothing to look into, and who wouldn't want to investigate them? No, they all receive immunity, okay? When they get investigated by the FBI and the DOJ, Hillary and Obama's administration, they all receive immunity. They're allowed to lie. They're allowed to go right in there and tell a lie. And they're not going to get in trouble for it if it hasn't been painfully obvious that there's two tiers of justice in America. Then, I mean, I don't know what planet you're living on, okay? But there obviously is. Okay, you or I are not going to go in the line of Congress. Well, they just go on, no problem. Raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth, and then they lie. No problem. Absolutely no problem. And they do it over and over and over and over again, and it's not a problem. So, yeah, nothing's going to happen to anybody on the left, pretty much. You can count on that. But anybody on the right, you know, they want to intimidate people on the right. They can put them in solitary. I guarantee you Manafort, I mean, he may have committed crimes, but his crimes were already looked at in the past, and they blew it off. They re-looked at it because he worked for the Trump campaign, okay? For any of this stuff to even be allowed to happen, just shows you that there's two tiers of justice, man. There's justice and injustice is what it is. And then what that means is there's really no justice at all. I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a scholar, okay, but I can just figure this out by common sense. If there's two tiers of justice, what that means is there is no justice, okay? There's no justice. It's called injustice, and they're going to railroad your ass when you go to court. They're going to do what they did to Roger Stone, and the judge is going to say that you can't mount a defense, okay? The judge is going to rule that you aren't allowed to mount a defense. So we found you guilty. Put your ass in prison. Okay? That's what they're going to do to you. It's what they're going to do to everybody. Because there's no justice anymore. I don't even know how you can even think there would be. I don't know how you expect to go into court and expect a fair deal after all the stuff that you've witnessed. You know, I don't. I expect when I go into court that the judge and the lawyer and the prosecutor, they're probably best friends. They're probably in the same frat together, probably in the same secret society together, probably in the Rotary Club together, probably had dinner last night, probably golfing tomorrow. You know, in fact, the prosecutor is probably married to the judge's sister or some shit or whatever. They got a circle jerk going in the shower back downstairs in the, you know, in the judge's chambers or whatever. Believe me, they're very close. They're very tight. They're very best friends. They're very friendly with each other. Pretty much in every town in America, from sea to shining sea. That's pretty much what I think. That's my opinion. I could be wrong about that, but that's my opinion. I've just seen so much in my lifetime, and nothing surprises me anymore. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, I'm just ranting away, rolling around on the motorbike. That's alright, I can do that. Nobody's going to watch anyways. They'll probably hear what I say and they'll ban me. Shadow ban me, who knows what. Yeah, that's you're lucky you got free speech at all right now. If you have any free speech at all, you're not going to have for too much longer. Because the trend is to get rid of it. Believe me, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats and half the Republicans too want to get rid of your free speech. I don't know what they have on the Republicans, but I think it's something. I definitely think it's something. I think these people meet. They all belong to the same secret societies, same frats, the same clubs. And they meet with people and they talk about how things should be going. And they all decide to go that way. You know, somehow that's the way things always go. How do you catch a wild boar in the woods? How would you catch a wild boar? Well, you put up one piece of fence and you put out a little food. And then the wild boar comes to eat. And then he leaves. And then you put up another piece of fence and a little more food. He comes back. Things look relatively the same. He eats and leaves. And then you just repeat that process. Finally, when there's just one piece of fence left, he comes in to eat, you put the last piece in, and then you have dinner. That's pretty much what they're doing to us.